But also, I actually do want to talk about something that I was on Pit Princess streams about. So yesterday, I was so before work ended, I was on Pit Princess's stream, and I was discussing with her and the chat about something called, and it's something that I do want to discuss in a video essay, and it's a topic of intellectual crushes. And when I mean intellectual crushes, I mean not like people you want to see like, oh, that person's attractive, like that person's like really attractive outwardly, and they're like really really so and so, like I really have a crush on them, like so yada yada yada. I What I mean is like they're really smart and you're not even intimidated, you just want to know more about them and you like them because of how they present themselves, like how they speak, how they like how they you're really attracted to how they present themselves, not like outwardly, but what's in their head, what they discuss, what they talk about. And I didn't think that they were called um intellectual crushes. Like the closest I actually had to an intellectual crush was through my friend. My friend, so here's the thing. My friend is a huge history buff. Like he absolutely loves studying history. He makes historical in jokes a lot. He is the person who got me into he is the same friend who got me into Mass Effect. He also was the same friend who got me into Fallout, albeit it took me a while, but it seemed like an interesting game. However, in like we've known each other since 2005, but we didn't become friends more until 2006 or 7. And like I said before, he is a very big history person. And so in the 12th grade we had two history classes together. American history and American history and what was it called? Canadian history? I'm not sure, I forgot. Like, but we had in one semester we had two history classes together. And yeah, we had two history classes together. And the thing about that is that not only were we both of us actually did have history classes together, but there was one other person. Canadians don't have history, silly. Oh, that's right. We have no history. As Dr. Snorlax would say, we are a nation that does not exist. They are the syrup. Exactly. We are the syrup. You are the tea. I'm being so stereotypical. Even though I don't have a Canadian accent as far as anybody knows, so I'm kind of disappointed. But so there was two of us in two history classes, but there was one more person. And so what ended up happening was this one person actually really wanted to get a better grade in history. We should make a wiki for the lore of Kiara's Canada. What about my prom? But but here's the thing. So this third person who was an acquaintance of ours, somewhat friend, maybe a friendly enemy, specifically to my friend, what ended up happening was like she would study very hard to get amazing grades for history. And meanwhile, my friend who doesn't really need to study history because he is a buff, he is like an expert in history, like it's nothing for him. He has like textbooks, he has books on American history and all that. And so he would pass history classes with flying colors. And whenever we had a test, I would actually have like, you know, a grade which like a B plus or a B minus or C plus. And like, I don't care. I had a passing grade. It's no big deal, honestly. Meanwhile, the third person who was in both of our history classes would end up like she would end up like with a really good grade, but my friend would actually be passing with flying colors to the point where his grades would be better than hers. And there were some moments where I'm not sure, like, he didn't know that, but I could feel her death glare. Not to me, but to my friend. Because every time he has a better grade than her, I could feel the death glare. I can feel her staring at my friend, even when I'm not looking at her. Like, I could be looking away and I'll be like, oh my god, she's just staring daggers at my friend. She is staring legitimate daggers at my friend. And in my mind, in the back of my mind, I'm like, she probably likes him. And I'm like, no, that's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. Like, that is legitimately crazy talk. That's crazy. Like, nobody could actually look like they hate somebody because they actually do something better. But no, it ended up being true. Later on, my friend actually told me that yes, she had a crush on him intellectually. You know? She actually did have a crush on my friend intellectually. It was hate, but it was pretty much like Helga from Hey Arnold kind of hate. Like, it's like a hate, like, not, I wouldn't call, I think it was vitrolic. Like, it was more of a slap, slap, kiss, kiss, except without the kiss, but the sentimentality was still there. And so, yeah, he was surprised, but to me, I'm like, oh, okay, that seems like, yeah, yeah, that bisected, absolutely that. Um, yeah, she had a crush on him intellectually. She had an intellectual crush on my friend. And I'm like, yeah, that does make sense. Like, because there are people out there who do like people who are very smart. Who are very, very smart. And some people are intimidated, but there are other people who are like, so I want to pick your brain for a minute. Like, I think you're very smart and, you know, you're probably a nice person. Which he is. My friend is a nice person. Um, and because of, like, he does have that nerdy quality. Yeah, he does have that nerdy quality. Um, he's very smart. He's the person who introduced me to TV tropes, too. Yeah, he is the same person who introduced me to TV tropes. So, yeah, so he's very smart, and, like, there was a couple of times where I personally, I'm going to admit it right now, just a couple of times where I had a crush on him. And this is my best friend. My best friend who is a cis male and is 100% straight as far as I know. He is 100% straight. I'm pretty sure he has his moments of, like, stupid sexy Flanders. But I did have a crush on him a couple of times, and then it's like, yeah, it's completely gone. And this was pretty much when I was in high school, when I was just finding out that I was bisexual. Because I had a crush on a lot of guys and girls, so yeah. Now, intellectual crushes, I want to, like, again, I have a couple of intellectual crushes, like, Abigail, like, I was discussing this with Pit Princess on her stream and a couple of, people in chat. I have an apparently, like, I can look up to people, but I would also have a crush on them because of their minds and how they work. So apparently, I have an intellectual crush on Abigail Beck. I have an intellectual crush on, yeah, I have an intellectual crush on Abigail Beck. who I yeah, I have an intellectual crush on her. And she's streaming right now. I'm lurking her stream right now. I did rate her yesterday, so that's fine. And also, I have an intellectual crush on MX Emily, who has not streamed so far this week. But I do have an intellectual crush on her as well. Because I look up to them and I find them like really, really smart. And it's not to say that the people who I don't follow aren't also really smart, because like, but those are the two main people who I think are very. Why does it say check out Kiara Strings on their Twitch? It's supposed to say check out, like, check out, you know. But, yeah, I have an intellectual crush on a couple of people, mainly those two. And, you know, Kiara becomes one with their crushes. I did not. Here's the thing. I denied it. Like, I'm like, I told Pit Princess I don't have a crush on Abigail Beck. I just look up to her. And, she was like, well, you can actually, like, have a crush on somebody who is, like, very smart. And I'm like, well, that's true. That actually explains my, like, my half-second crush on my friend. You know? But, yeah. But I do not want to become one with a crush, because I want to be my own person but still look up to them. And I know that I absolutely know. I know that I shouldn't look up to my heroes and put them on a pedestal, because, you know, the people who look up, the people who you look up to are human as well. But oh my, I just realized that I actually had an intellectual crush when I was in grade 2. Holy God almighty, I had an intellectual crush on somebody when I was in the 2nd grade. And it was on a guy. Oh my God. Oh my God, I had an intellectual crush on somebody when I was in the 2nd grade. And he was a year older than me. Holy God almighty. Oh my God. Holy crap. I just realized that. Oh my God. Oh, that realization from 1999. And it took over 2 decades to realize this. So when I was in the 2nd grade, our class shared a split grade class. Like, most of us were in the 2nd grade, but there were a few 3rd graders. And it just so happened that there was somebody who has the same, who I had my intellectual crush on. He has the same name as my friend who was a history buff. I have a pic of it somewhere in 1 sec. Okay, Nauseum, go ahead and send it into Chloe's Discord. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, I found him to be very smart. Like, I would follow him around during recess, and he would tell me to stop following him around. But I was just fascinated. I was legitimately fascinated by the way he talks, the way he moves. Like, he was a nerd looking back. He like, looking back, I thought he was a little, like, he seemed like a little bit of a nerd because he was smart, and but I thought he was a cool person. He probably still is a cool person. And I'm like, oh my God, this person is, like, fascinating. And I wanted to, like, be as smart as him. And like I would follow him around, I would get some of his mannerisms somewhat, and I just looked up to him. And that was like going on for a year. You know? I did not realize that I had an. Oh my god. I think it was a crush. Oh my god, I think it was just a genuine crush on him. And I had a crush on a girl who was 5 years older than me. I almost said 5 years younger. That would have been a problem since I was in the second grade. But I had a crush. I had a crush on a guy who was a year older than me. It's just a little crush. Well, would a little crush be following somebody around during recess for months at a time? I have intellectual crushes now, but I didn't know I had intellectual crushes when I was in the second grade.